I just can't think of any reason you shouldn't get this. It is definitely one of the most cost-effective pistol conversion kits on the market right now, no doubt about it. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Pilot Patriot channel. Today we're going to be looking at this little guy right here, the CAA MCK. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it, all the features, and some applications that you might could use for something like this. Now, MCK stands for Micro Conversion Kit, and that's exactly what it does. It takes your standard handgun and basically converts it into this nice little package, similar to something like an SBR or a sub gun or something like that. Now, some of you might already be familiar with the Micro Roni. That was the first generation of this, and there were several versions of the Micro Roni. This is actually the second gen MCK. So this is not a new product, but this version of it is fairly new to the market. It's been out for about a year now, and they're coming out with new versions that can accommodate a lot of different pistols. As you can see here, mine is for the Glock. This is a Glock 17 in here. This particular version can accommodate any Glock in that family. So that's going to be the 17, the 19, 19X, 22, 23, 31, and all of those that are of that family. They also make the MCK for several other Glock handguns, Smith & Wesson M&P, Sig, and they're starting to make it for a lot of other platforms too. So chances are, if they don't have one that accommodates a pistol you already have, then they will be coming out with one shortly, because they are coming out with new stuff every day. So right out of the box, this is what you're going to get right here, and it's very simple and pretty fast to get your pistol integrated into this, especially with a little bit of practice. So the easiest way to do that is you're just going to turn that upside down, and you'll see the charging handle here has grooves that are going to correspond with the cocking serrations on the slide of the pistol. So all you're going to do is turn it upside down, and you're just going to drop that gun in there, line up those slide serrations, push it down, and then you're going to push it all the way forward until it locks, and you can actually hear it lock into place. Then this flap right here is just going to fold down, and you're going to push forward, and you will hear an audible click to let you know that that thing's in place. And that's all there is to it. This bad boy is locked in there nice and tight. There is no wiggle at all. There's no movement of that thing. And you do have a little red indicator there to let you know that it is locked completely in place, exactly how it needs to be. And that's all there is to it, guys. To get it out, you're just going to flip it back over. There's a button here that opens up this latch. So you hit that button and pull that latch open. And then there are some tabs right here. You're going to pull those tabs while pulling back on the gun, and that's just going to release it. And then you just lift it up out of the charging handle there, and you're good to go. All right, so let's go over the features of this bad boy. Now, I already told you they make different versions to accommodate a lot of different handguns. One of the first things you'll notice is that you have a continuous Picatinny rail right here along the top. On the Gen 1 MCK, that was polymer. Now, I don't necessarily see a problem with that. Some people did say they had some concerns about it not locking up tight enough because it was a polymer rail. On the 2.0 MCK, you do get a metal rail on top, and that's going to accommodate these backup sights like you see here, any kind of red dots you want to put in there, or any other optics you might want to throw on top of this bad boy. You do have two additional Picatinny rails here on the side. As you can see, I have the little accessory thumb rest on there on both sides, and that's not something that comes with it. The thumb rest you're going to have to pay a little extra for their accessory kit, and we'll go over the accessory kit too. But that rail there, you could put a light, laser, any kind of accessories you want to put on that side Picatinny rail. Now, something else you'll notice, you may not even need to put a light on that side Picatinny rail, because the MCK has a built-in spot for a flashlight right there. Now, it doesn't come with the flashlight from the factory. It comes with basically a placeholder here, and you can see it's got some little tabs you push in there, and that flashlight pops right out. And then if you get their accessory kit, you will get this flashlight. This is a 500 lumen light. I believe it's made by Olight. very nice little light, and I love the way that they integrate that into here. It just pops back into place, and then it's nice and secure. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. It does have completely ambidextrous fast handling. You have charging handle is accessible on both sides there. The flashlight can be accessible on both sides just by flipping it over to put that button on whichever side you want it on. You do have plenty of access to your pistol here on this side, and you'll see on the other side they have this nice cutout, so that allows you to get to your slide lock, slide release there on that side. But you do have full access, full operation of your slide from this charging handle, which is one of the really cool things about this, is that it adds that charging handle function similar to any other rifle or SBR, something like that. It does have this really nice ergonomic hand grip here on the front. It's kind of an angled grip, and it does have these notches here for your fingers to fit in. That's what that's for. Now, because this is still a pistol, you cannot have a vertical grip, so this acts as your angled foregrip on the front. From there, you got a nice comfortable spot to put your fingers, have quick access to whatever you have here on the Picatinny rail. Like I said, I have the thumb rest there, but also quick access to actuate that light. Now, one of the coolest things about this is that it does have a spot here to hold an extra magazine. That's all this is a spot to hold your extra magazine, and I think that is a really cool idea, so that when you run dry on your main magazine, you just hit your magazine release on your pistol like you normally would. That's going to drop out, and then you can access this other magazine and quickly get that into place. I think that's a fantastic idea. Now, there is a difference between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2 MCK there again. The Gen 1, this magazine was just held in by friction. That's it. Now, on the 2.0, they upgraded that, and they added a magazine release button here. That's just going to make it a little more secure, where you don't have to worry about that magazine accidentally falling out when you don't want it to. But operating that magazine release is super easy. Just hit it while you're grabbing your magazine. There's no extra time involved or anything like that. It's a really nice idea there. That is not a vertical foregrip. That is a magazine holder. So you still have your angled foregrip up here. This technically is not a vertical grip. It's just a magazine holder. That's important to understand for ATF purposes and things like that. Another one of the coolest parts about this thing, and one of the main reasons I got this, is for the side folding brace. To release that, you just have a button here on the back. You hit that button and that releases it and allows you to fold it. You also have a tab here on the side so that that thing will lock in place, so it's not flopping all over the place. That's a really nice touch there. Now, another difference from the 1.0 and the 2.0 is that the 1.0 MCK had a shorter stabilizing brace. And because of that, I believe it's still locked in place. I'm not sure about that, but because of where the brace laid when it folded, it was hard to get your finger in here and operate it with it folded. With the 2.0, it does have the longer brace, so you can easily get your hand in there and operate this one-handed. It will fire just fine with the brace folded. It's also important to note that if you do want the 1.0 or they don't make the 2.0 for your model handgun, you can still get this Gen 2 stabilizing brace, and it'll work just fine on the 1.0. So this thing folds up into a really nice small package, especially if you take these magazines out. You got a really nice small package there to fit in a backpack or a bag, or really anywhere you want to put this thing. Personally, I think this will make the perfect truck gun. So that's kind of the application that I have in mind for it. So that's another one of the biggest features, is its small size and the fact that this thing really packs up into a nice small package. Now, just a few more features here, guys. Underneath this thumb rest that I have, there are a couple screws here inside of this side pick rail to accommodate a 19 versus a 17 Glock, or some of your shorter Smith & Wessons to longer Smith & Wessons, that kind of thing. this barrel shroud here moves in and out, and the way you adjust that is through these screws. You just loosen it up, pull it out for your longer pistols, push it in for your shorter pistols, and your instruction manual will tell you all that. So like I said, it's going to accommodate a lot of different things. That accessory kit, you'll notice I have a sling on here that is going to come with the swivel and the sling. This is a pretty nice sling. It's a 1-point sling with the bungees on both sides. You have the pop-up sights. Those are from MCK. You can pick those up for like 30 bucks. Very similar to something like a Magpul M-Bus sight. So that is nice. You get the thumb rest here. It comes with two, so you can put one on both sides. That way you are fully ambidextrous depending on how you want to shoot it. Like I said, it does come with that light on the front, which is a really nice feature there. As you can see, I had this outfitted with one of the 33 round stick mags. That's what I'm gonna leave in the mag well there. And then I just have the standard 17 round here up front. Of course, you could go with the drum mags, you could go with 2 stick mags. Any magazine that'll work with your pistol will work with the MCK. It does have some vent holes here on both sides. That's just gonna allow some of those gases and stuff to escape. One thing I will mention to you is that your gun is going to get super dirty trapped inside of this thing as you're shooting, so it may require cleaning a little bit more often, but that's fine. I've run a lot of rounds through this thing and it functions just fine. I haven't had any malfunctions with this at all, and if you did have a malfunction, you can tap and rack the same way you would with the handgun. You're just going to use that charging handle instead. One other difference with the 2.0 versus the 1.0 is that it is a little taller here to accommodate suppressor height sights. And another thing that a lot of you guys are going to be really happy about is that the 2.0 will accommodate a suppressed handgun. So this whole front section here comes out, that barrel shroud comes out, and that's going to accommodate any suppressor that will fit on your handgun will work with this. So the 2.0 is suppressor ready, the 1.0 is not. So why would you want something like this? Why would you want to put your handgun into a package like this? The main thing is accuracy. There's no doubt that having 3 points of contact is going to allow you to be way more accurate, way more consistent than two-handed shooting a handgun. It also gives you the option of putting any optic you want on the top up here, which is really cool. So your normal effective range of a handgun is going to be what, 25 yards, possibly a little further than that, but it's hard to be super consistent at distances further than 25 yards with a handgun. You slap that bad boy into the MCK, you instantly extend that range out to possibly 200 yards depending on the optic you choose to use and that kind of thing. It really basically turns that pistol into something very similar to an SBR type platform, and it does it at a very, very cheap price. And that's the #1 reason that you should get an MCK, because of the price. Depending on the model that you get, the MCK is going to run you somewhere between $200 and $300, and that is just amazing. So I looked for a long time to try to come up with a good truck gun or backpack gun, that kind of thing. I looked at some obvious options, building a really small AR pistol, but that can get pretty expensive. I looked at things like the CZ Scorpion, but also that's going to run you around 1,200 bucks. If you already have a pistol that'll fit into the MCK, 200 or 300 bucks and you're done. You want to add the accessory package, that's going to cost you probably another 100 bucks. But for 300 bucks, assuming you already have the pistol that'll fit in there, for about 300 bucks, you are getting a package that is pretty close to or equivalent to a $1,200 package, and that is really hard to beat. I mean, the MCK should fall into pretty much anybody's budget. That's one of the reasons this thing is so awesome. It is made 100% in the USA. It is definitely one of the most cost-effective pistol conversion kits on the market right now, no doubt about it. So let's get this thing on the range and let's do a little shooting with it. right, that is the CAA MCK. I hope you like it, guys. I just can't think of any reason you shouldn't get this. Especially a lot of us may have just an extra handgun laying around that we don't shoot anymore. You could easily slap it into this MCK system and it's like having a brand new gun. I love this thing. If you have any questions, guys, please leave those in the comments down below. If you haven't done it already, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You can help support the channel and make sure we can do more videos like this by following us on Patreon. You can also visit Pilot Patriot Apparel to get you some really cool Second Amendment and patriotic t-shirts. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.